Alright my lovers, paranerdnicky here, and today we are going to be talking about the pros and cons of being an adult fangirl. So, it's common knowledge, it's very common knowledge. I'm 25 years old, and I am a shameless fangirl. I am in multiple fandoms and bandoms, and whatever you want to call them. But, so there is pros and there is cons, just like there is with anything. I'm sure there's pros to being a younger one as well. Obviously, I was there. But being an adult, obviously, it takes fandom a bit to a new level and everything's a little bit different. So I wanted to go through some of the pros and cons to being a fangirl. So we're going to start with the pros, because I like to start on a nice note. So everyone tends to accept you as the cooler, older person, mum, big sister, kind of everybody sees you and you're like, oh, there's an adult and they think the same way I do. So it becomes like a really, really nice, they kind of look up to you, they see you as a peer. Obviously you have to treat that with as much respect as you can, because obviously there are people in fandoms that are a lot younger, and so it can be a very kind of, you just have to be very, very careful with what you say and what you do, because you are almost an example. Second one, jobs and income. So we don't have to rely on parents or anything like that to buy merchandise and go to tours and stuff like that. I mean, I still, you know, every so often, like my birthday or something, I'll be like, oh, can I have money, or can I get tickets to this or something like that. But generally, you'll have your own job, you'll have your own income. It's not the same for everybody else. But generally adults, because we have more access to income, then we can buy merch and we can go to tours and we can go to shows and everything like that. Unless it's in America, then I'm screwed. Can enter the more not safe for work thing. So yes, I know you get the cheeky ones that are a little bit younger, that like to kind of get into that territory, which is fine, explore what you like and whatever. But you can do that and it's fine. You won't have anybody looking at you like, you know, you're a bit young to be here. Usually you are the dirty sinner, and that's absolutely fine. So, also on that note, you don't have to hide your browser history, you don't have to hide anything, so you can dirty sin until your heart's content, and nobody will care or probably look. And if they do, it doesn't fucking matter, because that belongs to you anyway. So, on to my next point, finding other people around your age in the same fandoms is the most precious gem in the entire world, because you just relate to them so much. You have the adult and the fangirl part of you, and it comes together, and it is just the most pure, precious, lovely thing. And I have so many really, really good friends my age in the same fandoms as me, and it's just to be treated as such a precious gem, and I love it. So on to the next one, which I kind of covered a little bit. You tend not to give many fucks about what you're doing and what you're reading and what you're looking at, because you're an adult. When you're a kid, I mean, some adults, I mean, I still sometimes have the problem, but generally with kids, obviously, as you're growing up, you know, you're mindful of your friends and your family and everyone like that, kind of constantly checking up on everything you do, and you're a little bit scared about judgment. But when you're an adult, you kind of care a little less. You're just like, well, I'm an adult, I don't give a shit what you think. So, as I said, not the same for everyone, but still kind of a good point. Dealing with meeting faves. Now, I haven't met every single person that I'd like to, but you never know, one day stranger things have happened. But you tend to get treated a little differently, not all the time, but for an example, I met a band once and I chatted with them for a little while, and I ended up having a beer with them, and it was lovely. Now, you couldn't really do that if you were 14, or any age that was kind of under the legal age, because A, that would be bad, and B, obviously you have to be very careful and very mindful of people, what their age is and what their restrictions are. And some, I know some dirtbags don't give a shit, but generally speaking, so, you know, when you meet them, they can relate to you a bit more, because you're usually around the same age as them. So, you know, it can be a little bit of a calmer scenario, but not all the time. I mean, I've still had my moments, but generally I'm not much of a crier. I just kind of go into this state. But next one, you can, like, if you're gonna binge watch something or watch a stream of something, you can do that until your heart's content. What the fuck is a time zone? It doesn't matter. I don't have a bedtime. I'm an adult. So that's quite a good one. And the last one, if you have kids like I do, or kid like I do, or if you have younger siblings that enjoy the same thing, it's a really, really nice bonding experience. My little brother likes Jacksepticeye, and my son, he likes kind of Mark and Jack, and he likes some of the same bands I do, and we get to have special moments, and I'll get to take him to his first shows, and it's just a really nice experience, and it's just an extra thing there that you can bond with them with, and it's just really nice. So they were all the pros. I'm going to get onto the cons of them, which is slightly funny but slightly true, but you know, there are two sides to every story. So first one, every other adult thinks you're weird. Yep. Getting it out there now. If they're just a normal, general, going about their lives, working, you know, person that isn't really into that stuff, you are automatically ostracized for being a little bit weird and a little bit kooky. But that's just how it is, but it also ties in with the you're an adult, you don't give a fuck, so it just depends. Second one, it can be hard to find other older people in the fandom. You have to look very, very hard. But then when you do, as I said, precious gem, absolutely amazing. Younger people, generally amazing. I have so many people that I've basically adopted because I love them all to bits, but some people might be a little bit funnier towards accepting you. They might kind of compare you to their parents, because when you're younger you see older people and you're like, they're automatically going to be this way. It's not the same for everyone. As I said, this is just a generalized notion. They might feel that there are some things that they can't be too about, because they might compare you to, you know, obviously older people that they look up to, or, you know, they might, oh, you're a parent as well, you might not understand this, but we do, because we were kids once and we do have a similar working fangirl brain or fanboy brain or fandom brain, whatever you are. The next one. You feel too old for this shit. I can't count how many times I have turned around and just gone, oh, I am too old for this shit. It's more of a funny anecdote than an actual thing, but I do catch myself muttering to myself, oh my god, I'm too old for this, or I look at everything else and I'm like, am I too old to be here? But then I just usually get back to not giving a fuck thing and happy fangirling. So the next one can be relationships. It could be tied to, I mean, I'm very fortunate. My partner, he's a dirty, filthy enabler for my fangirl habits. He bought me an Antisepticeye shirt for my birthday because he is a gem and I love him. But I know not every person can be as understanding, and it could lead to jealousy in a relationship if you really, really care for a specific person or people in fandoms, and it can get a little grey areas, but generally it's not too much of one. Next one is sometimes you don't know new terms. So sometimes I'll find someone using like text language and I'm usually like really good at that, or like a slang term, but sometimes I do have to look it up, which is really, really hard for me to say, because it's like a thing to say I'm getting older because I don't automatically understand the new terms. But sometimes I do have to look them up, and older people do have to look them up thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? But that's a thing, but it's more of a funny thing than anything. And then you find out what it is and you're like, ha, I'm using that. So the last one is unhealthy obsessions. Some people can get far too into the fandom, and being into the fandom is great, but if it gets to the point of the obsession, it could be very detrimental. It could shield you too much from outside responsibility. You might start being critically unaware that you have to still be an adult sometimes. You have to find the balance between being a fangirl and being an adult. Sometimes you have to be an adult, unfortunately, but that vision can be a bit obscured and it could lead to an unhealthy obsession with someone, so just be mindful of that. But the last thing I wanted to touch on, so that's the pros and cons over, but one thing that I wanted to touch on is I don't understand why more people don't do this sort of thing. I get that people grow up and they think I can't do this, but I was trying to write this and I was really, really struggling to come up with cons. because people I think it goes along with the other people might think you're weird, but where do we lose that sense of kind of childlike wonder, and where do we lose that sense of, oh my god, there is nothing more exciting to me than when something really big happens in a fandom and I'm so ecstatic and I'll squeal like fangirls do, and it's the most pure thing, and it's a little silly, but what is wrong with being a bit silly sometimes? It's so lovely, and you can relate to other people when you have other people and they're squealing too, and it looks from the outside really, really weird, but it just lightens your heart. It's so pure, it's so nice, and everyone's just having a good time. There are, again, a few bad eggs, but generally you're all having a good time, and it's so lovely and so pure. So I really hope you did enjoy this video. If you do, don't forget to leave it a like. You can subscribe to me if you want to be my friend. Please, I need other fangirl friends, especially if you're my age. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna stop now, that's a bit weird. But if you want to click here, there is another video about fangirling. A lot of my videos are, because I'm a shameless fangirl. Or if you want to click here, there is going to be a video that YouTube thinks perhaps you will like. We'll see if the algorithm works. I'll catch you in the next video, and I'll see you later. Bye!